Hey everybody! I crack myself up when I do that. Welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Tonight's movie, Spinning Man. So let's get into some numbers real quick. 42% from Rotten Tomatoes, from the critics, 52% from the audience. IMDb has it at a 5.5. Yes, 5.5. So it's about a happily married man who's known for having affairs with his students. Isn't that an oxymoron? A happily married man who's known for having affairs with his students. I don't know. But he becomes a prime suspect when a young woman has gone missing. So, that cracked me up when I read that. But it stars, I think you say, Odeya Rush. Seen her in a couple different things that I've reviewed. So, up-and-coming star, I think. Or a guy, Pearce, who is a star. Pearce Brosnan, 007. Minnie Driver, she's in it. So Jamie Kennedy is in this. So there's a couple of Carlos Rota, you know him, you've seen him before, and the list goes on and on. So I don't know, very low ratings, might not be any good, but I'm gonna check it out for you and let you know what it's really about and what I really think about it. So stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, do a quick check-in here. We're watching Spinning Man. We're at the 40-minute and 54-second mark, and there's a lot to share already. There's about an hour left in the film, but it's very interesting. First of all, first thing that caught me was Minnie Driver. So Guy Pearce and Minnie Driver are married in this. So he's the professor who evidently who's happily married but likes to have affairs with younger women. She's putting her kids on the bus. And she says to the little girl, she goes to get on the bus, "Have fun storming the castle." So I love that. It was very subtle, but I caught it. So if you're a big movie buff and you know what that's from, put it in the comments below. Let's see who gets that one right. That jumped right out to me, and I thought that was a great little nod there. So anyway, so this girl's gone missing. It's Odeya. She's the younger girl who has gone missing. And right from the beginning, they start investigating Guy Pearce's character, and there was another interesting part where they come to his house and say, your car was at the lake the day she went missing, or a car like yours, and they asked to search his car, and he says no. And you think about it, it's like, well, if you have nothing to hide, why won't you let them? Well, I think a lot of things can happen if you allow people to search your car, because they could find something completely unrelated and pin it on you, no warrant or anything like that, and use that as evidence against you or something like that. Maybe somebody, whatever, not trapped you, but put something in there on purpose. I can't think of the, you know what I mean. But they could do things like that. There's a lot of different things that can happen if you don't go through the right process. But it also makes him look guilty if he doesn't do it. But then he goes down to the precinct with them to answer some questions, and he answers the questions again without lawyers. So if he is guilty, I get it. He's trying to say that he's not guilty, and he's trying to be a little bit cooperative, but yet not so much. But that's another thing. Like, what do you think if it ever happened to you? It's a good, question to bring up. It's like, what if you were ever, accused of something? Would you give full 100% cooperation, or would you wait for a warrant, or would you wait for a lawyer to speak to the lawyers? Because I think if we're all innocent, we're immediately going to cooperate. And yes, go ahead, search my car. Yes, let's go talk and ask some questions. But yet they're trying to solve a disappearance or whatever this is, and they're trying to find a suspect, and they need to find somebody fast. So they're going to use anything they can to blame this guy or you in this situation. So I'd be interested to see what you think. Would you, give up and just say, hey, take it all, or would you look for a warrant and a lawyer? Okay, so that's interesting. I know I'm trying to keep it all together here. Jamie Kennedy in this movie, almost unrecognizable. And it's amazing when you look at Jamie Kennedy next to Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce doesn't really look like he's aged since, his younger movies. And Jamie Kennedy is almost unrecognizable in how much he has aged. So when you watch that, keep that in mind if you see this movie. And one last thing before I cut you loose, they're also playing, this is back more to the plot, he's kind of having a memory thing. Now he does say in the beginning, again not a spoiler alert, he says did you ever have a hard time remembering something to the investigator? And the investigator is Pearce Brosnan. And so he says that to him. And now he's kind of having flashbacks of different things. And so, it seems as though if he did do it, he forgot doing it, or he was involved somehow, and he's losing his memory. I don't know. That's what they're leading us up to. Not giving a lot away, but the reason I brought it up was, if you ever seen Guy Pearce in Memento, if you haven't seen Memento, make sure you watch that. Put that on your watch list. Fabulous movie. At least from what I remember watching it one time, and it was amazing. So check that movie out. That was really good. And let me know what you think. But let me get back to the end of this review, so after this is over, you can go check that out. So I'll be back in a little bit, alright? Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Spinning Man. Not really, the credits are over. And they're over because I sat here trying to think, what am I going to tell you? If you stayed with me so far, you would saw a little bit of excitement. There's a lot of stuff about the movie I kind of liked, and it was entertaining, and it had me going there for a little bit. I'm really disappointed. But to share with you exactly why I'm disappointed is hard without ruining the ending for you. But I think you now know where my problem is with this. It's an hour and 40-minute film, and I didn't look at the exact timestamp, but let me take you this far. Everything I've shared with you, I think, is all you really need to know. We talked about he's a professor who, happily married and has affairs with women, or does he? The other thing is he's a professor of philosophy, so that all plays into it. Like, what is truth? Truth is simply the perception of what you think might be the truth, is his definition of it. So you can see how that can start playing into the mind a little bit, and that's what they tried to do throughout this film. Girl goes missing. He's the prime suspect. Did he do it or did he not do it? That's the whole thing. And, what kind of history does this guy have? Was he with other women? That's it. That's the whole plot. But it's exciting. They do a good job of kind of building it up, at least I thought. It did seem like they drug it on a little bit more. But you're expecting for something great at the end, and you don't get it. So my advice to you, and I can't go in any further without ruining it for you, my advice to you is, if you watch this film, in the beginning of the film, the first scene is him walking into Pearce Brosnan's office, the investigator, and says something like, "Hey, do you ever feel like you forget things?" And he wants to talk to him about, what happened. And so then, it goes and it says 5 weeks earlier, and then it goes back through everything, and it leads him all the way back through the entire story until he comes back into Pearce Brosnan's office again. At that point, stop the movie and write your own ending. Use all of the information you got throughout that entire movie and write yourself an ending. If you enjoy movies that much, it might be a fun exercise for you. It doesn't matter what you write, it's gonna be better. And you might have fun doing it. And that might give you a better score on this movie, I think. That's what I'm gonna do. I wish, well, it doesn't matter. I think I might go back and write myself my own ending for this movie, because I think they could have done something and they didn't. So, not to go any further, I'm gonna say 5 or 6 on this one. I really did like it for the longest time. I thought it was interesting, but then they just blew it again. So I don't know why. I try and think about the title, Spinning Man. I don't know what that has to do with anything. And you could say that everything happens in cycles. I don't know. Anyway, you do what you want. If you want to watch it all the way through, please do. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you could answer my question from earlier. And if you write an ending, I'd love to hear it. So, thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub. See you next time.